There is a ton of videos about power tier lists of Gachiakuta, but there is none on overall coolness, design and writing. So I decided to do a tier list, and before everyone is gonna comment on yeah, blah, 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 I think all the characters are super cool. They are artistically very nice, but I don't think as writing goes, all of them are really equal. We all can have favorites, right? So here we are today, fellas, ranking Gachiakuta characters as mentioned. So we have the following categories. We have carrying the show, the goats, we have S tier, we have very cool, decent, pretty bad, who is dead, and deserves to die. We will get to why we have these categories, and I think you might agree with me on this one. Let's start strong. We have Corvus as the first one. So I mean, this guy is an absolute aura farmer. I think he's the Sang Jinwoo of Gachiakuta. So I mean, he's going to the goats. I feel like there is a lot of mystery around him. He has a lot of potential. We don't know his powers yet. We don't know his vital instrument yet. So I think Corvus is really strong. Now we're moving to Rudo. I have my own personal opinion on Rudo. Might be a little bit controversial, but I think Rudo, he has a lot of cliches about him, about his whole personality, writing. So while I think the character is cool, if I compare him to other shonen animes, he's not really standing out. So for me personally, keep in mind, for me personally, before you're gonna, all hunt me, I put Rudo in pretty bad because I think as the main character, he could be written better. Then we have Engine. So Daddy Engine, I think Daddy Engine is an absolute goat. I mean, Engine is super cool. Whenever I see Engine on the screen, I'm always happy. He's always funny. I think he's even stronger than he looks, or than what we saw in the show and in the manga currently. And don't forget, Engine has most probably roots to one of the original, Makana idol friends. There were like the friends. One of them was someone from Rudo's lineage, and also there is one from Engine's lineage, because there is like an umbrella icon. Design, his tattoos, his personality, everything is like perfect. So for me, Engine is absolutely cool. So Zanka, I didn't like his first motivation of being above everyone else when he was younger, and then once he chose the stuff. So his rivalry with Hyo from his childhood is pretty cool, I think. But overall, I don't see him at the beginning as really peak writing. I think he's pretty decent, but I think he has a lot of potential, because I like how he goes to this. He has this manga tire, and he's like this calm guy who's really not talented at anything, but he overworks everyone with really hard work and everything. So Rio, so far with the story, I think she has a cool vital instrument. I think her fights are pretty cool, but it's always this: she jumps in the air and then she pierces someone with scissors. And once she took the gun to shoot Jabber and Noerde, I think that was very cool, very unexpected. She artistically, I think she's well drawn. As for writing, I see Rio so far pretty dull, and we didn't see a lot of her past, only when she was traveling with the Engine when she was younger. She was a hitman, she was killing people previously, so it's very limited. I think very cool is pretty decent for her. So then we have Asia from the Cleaners. I think she's the healer, and she also has a brother. She has her vital instrument, I believe, is the power cord, where she charges someone with electricity and kind of heal him. I think her personality is pretty cool. You have all these flashy characters, and there is not a lot of shy characters in the show. So I would put her also Rio in very cool. Maybe later in the story she might go up depending on how it goes. So then we have Shikage. So Shikage, I think, is the defender of the Cleaners headquarters. I think there is not a lot to be known about him yet. I mean, I would rank him into who is that. Then we have Tamzi. Tamzi, for me, I think is a super cool character. He looks super cool. I think he's very well written. Not maybe in the anime yet, but then in the manga, a lot of Tamzi's ideals and everything that he does will be revealed. I don't want to spoil anything really. I don't want to spoil specific events. Some characters might be kind of spoiled, but I don't want to spoil any events for people who did not yet read the manga. I would put him in S. I don't think he's carrying the show, but I think he's very, very cool. Even above cool. So I think it's S tier. Then we have Delmon. I think for me, he's pretty decent. I think he's where Zanka is. I think he's okay-ish. Then we have Bro. I don't want to say bad. I want to put him in who is dead, because I feel we have still a lot to uncover about him. But I mean, who is dead? I don't think there is more to be said. His power is very cool. I think his design is cool. His power is very cool, with the powering up and stuff. I think it's pretty decent, and this might be actually interesting. But actually, I want to put him in pretty bad, because while I think the character is interesting, we didn't yet see the full use of his power. So let's actually let's put him in decent. Then we have Gita. I think Gita is very cool. I like the whole Vital instrument, like the whole costume, the kaiju kind of transformation. As for the personality wise as well, she's like a nice character, I think, overall. Then we have Semyu. Semyu is basically the receptionist of the Cleaners headquarters. I would put her in S tier. I think she's super cool, well written as a personality. You know, she's like this girl boss, like ordering around Corvus, the main guy of the Cleaners. She has a cool Vital instrument, cool power, and I think overall, like the design, the writing, I think everything around her is, so far, I really liked it. For me, she's S tier for sure. Then we have my girl Amo. She's the GOAT. Her backstory is absolutely crazy. Her powers are crazy. Her whole crazy personality. For me, the design is absolutely cool. She really stands out, like with the whole, you know, things on the thighs, and how she was small. She was very cute. No, not in that kind of way, okay? So let's calm down. For me, Amo is the GOAT. For sure. So then we have August, who is the brother of Asia. I think he does basically he creates the clothes and stuff for the Cleaners. So far, I would say who is that? Like, I mean, he does these kind of things, and yeah, but that's basically it, to be honest. So then we have Fu. So Fu at the beginning started with the Raiders and then moved to the Cleaners after also discovering his powers, like with the whole voodoo doll and being super strong, and his whole like personality, like this crazy. I would say he's decent. I think it's pretty nice. Then we have Gris. I think Gris, just based on personality, kind of like the good guy of the whole Cleaners headquarters, and I really liked his like personality. Then we have Follow. Follow is also one of the kind of support team of the Cleaners headquarters. He's kind of like the colleague of Gris. To be honest, at the beginning he was not really that cool, but after, like in the manga, he also gets a Vital instrument from one of his friends, like a hammer. That's when he really takes off. Like after, you know, he's receiving the Vital instrument, I think for me he's like super cool. And then we have Tome. Tome, I don't know. Tome is, I mean, who is that? Then we have Zodiel. Zodiel so far is also aura farming, same like Corvus. I think Zodiel is a perfect antagonist. I love him. He's like this dark, creepy guy. Like his powers is pretty cool, like with the cloak and, you know, with the changing forms and stuff. His ideals are pretty interesting, so I think writing is cool, how he looks. So I think for me he's one of the goats. Then we have Jabra. This might be a bit controversial, but I think Jabra is really carrying the show, at least the first season of the anime.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
In the first chapters, like whenever he's fighting, it's super cool. There are also some funny moments, like when he, you know, jumped and he got shot by Rio, how he was laughing with Zanka, for example. So for me, Jabra is really carrying the show so far. Then we have Stony. So I think she's the girl with the manholes. There is not a lot known so far. She's just following orders. We don't have any like motivations behind. Then we have Bundus. He's the guy with the 6 arms or 5 arms or how many. I think he was the last guy they beat in the anime. I think he's pretty cool, so I would definitely put him in decent. Then we have Noarde. We didn't see a lot, but for me, it was not really captivating. So for me, she goes into pretty bad. Then I think we have these 2 guys. So I don't even remember the names. But I think those are the 2 guys that Zanka fought at the beginning, and they were basically ambushed by Jabra and these 2 guys. So I think these 2 are pretty... I think these were like sacrificial goats to just throw characters that get defeated really easily. So then we have Hyo. So Hyo is basically the character from Zanka's past. She's kind of like Zanka's rival from childhood, and I think she's also part of the Hellguards. I would put her in very cool, but her design is kind of very simplistic, like the classic samurai, cool, quiet. I would put her in very cool overall, but once I think about it, I think she would deserve more decent, because if I compare it to other characters in the very cool category, I think all of these are somewhere here. Maybe it will change. Then we have Alisa, who is the doctor of the Cleaners headquarters. I think she's the mother of the 2 siblings. I would say pretty bad, but we saw a glimpse how she looked when she was younger, like with the hair and everything. If they could unlock the past of her, or I mean, we could see her past, I think it could be really cool. So for me, I would put it in pretty bad so far. Maybe it can go up. Then we have the mayor of Canvas Town. Pretty simple, nothing to really talk about. Who is that? Like, not a lot was explored with this. So then I think we have this guy. This guy, I think, is the boss of the raiders who wanted to kill Rudo once he arrived to the ground. So I mean, deserves to die. Now we created exactly this category just for him, just for, you know, people like this. Then we have this little shite. who actually wanted. So he's basically the guy who bought Amo from her mother, and he was living with her. Basically, she used her as a sex slave, and he very happily goes into this category. And now having him here, I would even say this guy is who is dead, because like having this I mean, he just wanted to kill Rudo, nothing really special, to this absolute freak. I would definitely put him in who is dead, just because this guy is here. He deserves a special place. Then we have Gob. Gob was the original user of the Vita instrument, the pen from Canvas Town. I think we can add a special category just for Gob. So then we have Remlin. Remlin is basically the successor of Gob. She's decent. Like, I think it was very funny with how she wrote the defensive spell on Zanka, and she told him to do this pose, and his arm got bigger, and he nearly died with Jabber because of that. So I think that was like a really funny scene. Then we have Recto. Not a lot is known about him, and I think there is some history which we need to explore. Recto had in possession the book, like from the Watchmen series. We still don't know how he got that book, so I think it's pretty bad. Maybe knowing his past, he could go into decent. Then we have Rudo's childhood friend Shiva. She looked like she liked Rudo and she was protecting him, but then once they wanted to throw him into the pit, then she just turned sides. For me, this absolute traitor deserves to die. Absolute traitor. Then we have Mimo. I think this is more for the manga readers. He was in the anime actually, but it was when the raiders came to the bar where they were sitting with the cleaners. He was on the radio, or I mean on the TV, the one who is selling the chokers on the market. His Vita instrument, I think, is a microphone, and he can basically use the microphone to control people if he ingested their blood, and he want to use this with the chokers to kind of control all the people. But for me, I think his character is pretty cool. His power is very cool, and how he combines it with the chokers and stuff. So for me, he's pretty cool antagonist, very cool antagonist, and I'm very happy to see this arc. So then we have Lily. Lily is also from the manga. I think her design is super cool. She's like this gold girl, and she, I think, is overall very, very cool as a character. So I'll put her in very cool, maybe even S. And then we have Coolness. So he has another item from the Watchmen series. He has the pendant. Basically, he's creating the chokers. He's also best friends with Lily. I think his past was pretty cruel, and the reason I'm putting him into S is because he planned his revenge for 20 years. It really feels like 50 Cent's revenge on Didi, with the whole planning of those years. So for me, he's definitely S tier. Then we have the Watchman. So Watchman is also a character from the manga. The moment people saw him or saw the Watchman, like everybody exploded. It was like, who is that? What is that? What the fuck? Story-wise, I think he's getting the show, but let's put him into maybe S. Then we have another special entry, and it's Amo's mom, actually. And Amo's mom, we all know what she did. She sold her daughter for money.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
So she goes straight to this. This is the special category for these characters. And then we have Kyoka Nijiku, who is basically captain of the Hell Guards. She's designed after Kei Urana, who is basically the manga drawer. And just for her design, she's super cool. Not to mention, she looks like Kei Urana. I think she deserves like GOAT. And the moment I saw her, I was like, oh wow, she's actually pretty cool. Just for the sake of Kei Urana, I'm putting her into GOATs. So that's it for our tier list, and I hope you like the tier list. If not, then I really don't care, because it's my own opinion. But let me know, what do you think about the characters in Gachiakuta, and if you agree with my ranking, what you would change. Like and subscribe if you like the video, and I will see you in the next one.